I have to click to go live. Hi, everybody. It's Mark Rushton of Mark Rushton Gallery. It is Thursday afternoon, February 16th, 2023, and it is snowy here. Little snow got on top of this box here. I can't believe the box got delivered here. Anyway, before I get into all that, think about joining my mailing list out at markrushtongallery.com. There's links in the description down below. If you want to like these videos, these live streams, or whatever, think about doing that. Think about subscribing to the video channel. That'd be great. It kind of helps out the videos and everything. And I'll talk a little bit more about me. I try to talk a little bit about what I do in each particular video. So I'm a recording artist and a visual artist, and I like to do these little live streams. But today is like really snowy out. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere, but I did. Oh, look at this. Look at this. They were so nice to send me some silica gel for throw away. Do not eat. Like, what? Why? This was not going that far. Why do you guys have to throw? I don't understand that. Anyway, I ordered some frames from Blick. I ordered 8 frames from Blick, and now I realize that I never order 8 frames from Blick. Order 6 or 12 or whatever, because they come in. I had 2 come in one box and 6 coming in the other. Well, the 2 arrived yesterday, and the 6 here ended up going from Galesburg, Illinois to Rock Island, and then back over to Champaign, and then they showed up in Des Moines today during the snow. You guys don't have to go in this. You guys don't have to do that so much in the snow, but it's the thought that counts. What can I say? So anyway, I've got 8 frames sitting here, and I have a box for 6 and a box for 2. So that's. I guess I better get to framing some stuff. Let's take a look at some paintings that I've done recently here. There was one I think I wanted to kind of redo. I might work on that. And this one, this is not finished. So I worked on this last night. And so I think there's 2 here that I'm going to revise. And I was having trouble with the, so what I do here, these are what I call book paintings. So here's an example. So you see the book paper here. This was a damaged book, or a book that I helped destroy, a book that was going to be thrown out anyway. And I thought, you know what, let's go and last couple months here, I've been taking this book and slowly dissecting it and turning it into works of art here. And so I like to use my little landscape motif, using, acrylic ink and acrylic paints, lots of different types of paints out there, including America's favorite acrylic paint. Just to let you know that's the favorite. So I work on these in a live stream, and some of these turn out very, very nice. And but this one's really good. Both of these are really good. I'm very happy with those. But these 2 have some issues, and I do like the center part of this here, but I'm not so sure on the no, that one's fine. Is it okay as the artist to have a little bit of doubt? All right. So but this one I worked on last night. It needs a little bit more revision. So let's get to work on it. See what happens. So yeah, it's snowing out. I don't know how much snow we're supposed to get. Several inches, I think. It's blowing around. I'm not going to drive anywhere today. Not going to the gym. I'm still kind of in my evening wear. And how am I going to fix this? Well, I like the sky. The sky looks very, very good. I do like that horizon there. I do not like this. I don't like what this has become. So let me see if I got a color here that will. do kind of want to keep it like this, but I also am not sure how I'm going to transform this. The other thing I need to do is I need to clean off this. Maybe I won't do that right now. I'll do that later. Or, yeah, I'll do it eventually. All right, let's play around with this here. So sometimes it's not kind of nice to have the word seep through, but other times I'm looking for more of a kind of a uniform landscape. And the motif I'm always searching for is that situation where you're driving in the country and you turn your head to the side to take in the view of the fields, the farm fields, the hillsides, and you see sort of like a big block of color. That's kind of what I'm shooting for here, in a very abstract way. So I don't think it'll take too much of effort here on my part to smooth it out. It would be nice to be able to have some words seep through, but I got words up here, so. And yeah, what I'm shooting for here is it doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want to have a certain level of uniformity. So you can have like little lines, little texture lines, little darker sort of thing there. That might be all we need. This might be a quick fix, so I might be able to move on to the next thing super fast here. So let's take a look here. I like that. Let's let that dry. And I kind of want to pull this one off here. And then we'll put down a new piece of Tyvek there. And work on that. So bear with me. Thanks for hanging out with me in the studio here. You know, I got all that stuff going on. Where is my Tyvek? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. So I have this big sheet of Tyvek. I don't think I have any. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I got something that'll fit in there. Where are my portfolios? Give me just a second. I will be right back. All right. This is kind of a big piece of Tyvek here. I don't work this big anymore. This could actually be 2 pieces. So what this is here, this is Tyvek paper, also known as spun bonded olefin. It's a synthetic paper made by DuPont. It is recyclable. It was discovered as a waste byproduct in the 1950s. It was formulated and then trademarked and all that stuff in 1967 by the DuPont company. And today they wrap houses in them. They make PPE. They make clothing and signage paper, all sorts of stuff for that out of Tyvek. And I discovered this spun bonded olefin, I was almost 30 years ago. I was a poor art school student in Kansas City. Went to the back of the Blick store and they had a partial roll of this, super cheap. I said, let's experiment. Let's play around with it. And so I've been on and off. I've been working on it for 30 years, making paintings on it, and then also using as a backing for things like these book paintings. Now there was one here that I was kind of. No, I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm going to leave that as it is. So we're on to the next one. Here's the book that I'm working through, Tree Models of Similarity and Association by James Corder. It's in the series of quantitative applications in the social sciences. Obviously a very, very popular book back in the day, back in the 90s. It was going to be thrown out. It was going to be thrown out. Last day at work. Last day I stopped into the office just to make sure I didn't have any personal effects still in there. After I got announced I was laid off and they're closing the facility, went in there and they had all these books right by the front door. And I picked these smaller ones, just kind of, they seemed kind of interesting. And I thought, you know what? I could paint on those. I'm going to paint on those. That's what I'm going to do. So I've been doing that the last couple of months. And if you go out to my gallery, markrushtongallery.com, you can see different examples in the paper originals section. Now, what I like to do initially is I like to apply kind of a backing color to everything. I guess they call it the mid-tone. Typically, I use a flame orange, but I do have a lot of red, and I need to kind of work on getting rid of it here. So let's pour a little scarlet on the. Look at that. That's perfect for Halloween, isn't it? I work with this color, and I come upstairs, and my wife's like, "Who did you cut yourself?" No, did not cut myself. And see, as a byproduct, also, when you're also smearing the Tyvek, you can over time create like a separate painting if you kind of move everything around and stuff like that. So I use that as a way to. I make the book painting and then I work on a long-term Tyvek painting here. Now this book paper is going to soak up that ink and it's going to curl a little bit. Not a big deal there. And I like to put it on. I like to apply that. Mid-tone kind of different, thicker, a little thicker red here, not as thick there. What am I drinking? Lemon water. Ice water with some lemon wedges in it. Very, very, very good. What's next here? Typically, I like to start off with the mid-tone, let it dry for just a little bit. This stuff dries like super, super fast. It's a little wetter here on the top, but this part in here is largely dried. The ink's dry so fast. And we're going to use the primary cyan. And when I apply that ink to the top here, I like to spread it on a little thick there. And what I'll do eventually is I'll apply some paint to it, and then I'm going to apply additional ink on there and do kind of a reductive technique. And we'll see things as they emerge here. So the lower section, what are we going to do? I got all these greens I got to get rid of. I got way too many inks. I bought way too many inks in the last few years here. So kind of my goal also is to work through, I have way too many art supplies, way too many. I really need to be operating a little bit more leanly. And, working with the book painting, smaller paintings. I'm working on smaller paintings, things that are a little bit more, quite a bit more affordable. Because my philosophy is that, the art has to sell, right? And if you price it, the marketing department is beating this into me. If you price it to sell, and that's what I try to do. These are very, very reasonably priced out there. Then that's good. Then that's what you're worth. I see so many artists these days trying to give advice to other artists. Artists are like, I don't know I don't know where to price my paintings. And all I can say is what I've been told, which is pricing art should be a philosophy, not a formula. And that pricing art should be a philosophy, not a formula. And that the work should sell, should be priced to sell. This idea that, whatever you're charging, you should charge more, you're worth more. That's the biggest bunch of hooey on the planet. There's a million artists millions of artists out there monetizing their work different ways. If I'm going to be selling originals, and I don't have that big of an audience or anything like that, then you have to price it accordingly. It's just the way it's got to be. I mean, if I try to charge, you can go out to my site and see what I offer these at. They're extremely reasonable. But let's say somebody came along and said, "No, you should be charging $500 for that." Who's got $500 sitting around for one of these? Yeah, a few people, but then they're not going to be the kind of people that are going to be like, "I'm not spending $500 on that." Who's he? That's how I look at it. Here's a good example of how stupid I am. Right? So these are both cadmium yellow light. Obviously, the same paint, probably repackaged for Blick, repackaged for Liquitex. But these big tubes, I'm not buying these big tubes anymore. I'm buying the small tubes. So I'll leave the small tube around. I got to get rid of this big tube. Gonna work on that. Gonna work on the big tube. I said I was going to do this year. I haven't done it yet because I have to be mindful of paying my taxes and everything like that. That's coming up here. Filing my taxes, paying for all that done. So different year because I'm incorporated instead of being a sole proprietor. Anyway, I'm planning on buying a dye sublimation printer and a heat press. And the dye sub printers, I think, are about $400. I think it's the Epson F170. And then it's just a heat press from, I'll just buy something off Amazon or whatever, I guess. I don't know. I have to research that. Oh, this is coming along real. I may not even, I kind of like how that is turning out. So eventually what I'm going to be able to do with these paintings here is I can go and make prints of them onto things like metal, maybe a little bit larger variations, limited editions, things like that. Then I got other stuff here. I've got the these little, hold on here. I got these little fruits, that I've been working on. These are thermal printed photographs that have been colored in by me. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that sort of stuff. And I'd like to blow that up and make that into like a little painting or something, I guess. I don't know. All right. Now it's time to expose the hold on here. Stop pooling. There we go. That's coming along, I think. Don't let that dry too much. Maybe I should disturb this. You think, oh yeah, let's disturb it. Oh, hey, what are we doing here? This might be going in the right direction. Half of my painting is reductive, It's like taking stuff off, removing paint, revealing the hidden layers beneath. Half the battle. I want to lower that a little bit here. So what this wet ink does is, because the paint isn't completely dry yet, it pulls up some of that paint. For a very interesting effect. Don't leave it on there too long. Then you have to be careful with the amount of pressure that you put on there, how long you leave it on. It's all in the technique. Then also in this reductive technique, sometimes I get out of it what I call the Rothko effect, where you get that sort of that floating, not quite rectangle. The floating cloud, the floating sphere. Tighten that down a little bit there. You know what? I'm gonna obliterate this. I'm gonna take this off here. Is that cached? I never really liked this color anyway. What's this? Medium Naples yellow deep. Barely yellow. Not very deep. Let's see what happens if I can remove some of this paint here. So I'm putting this ink on here. Let it soak in for a little bit. And again, like I said, that will with the paper towel and the amount of pressure, it's a removal technique. Reductive, I think is what they call it. And since I'm out of that, we'll switch over to white. Let's see what this turns into. There's no grand plan here, guys. Just endless experimentation. And nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with experimenting. Something goes wrong, you're just going to do a little pivot, go into another direction, go into another dimension. I'm going to have to get more paper towels here. I mean, that's interesting, but it's not as colorful as what I'm looking for. Let's pour this on here. Let's get this yellow ink on here. Run out of paper towels. I can't believe people are watching. This is great. Watching me paint during the day. That's could turn into an industry. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't leave it on for too long. Or leave it on for too long. I kind of like this now. I like this a little bit better. It's that rough hewn landscape full of texture. Oh, it's not going to do what you want it to do. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, I like this much more. Wow, way cool. Way cool. Yeah, let's let this dry. Let's let this dry and see where it goes. But I think, yeah, I've been aiming for this the sky and the long field and the horizon line, that sort of thing, with the words coming through. I got to do different books eventually. Specific books. The pages coming through, the words, the landscape. There's something there. And then you kind of, it's got a little bit of that Rothko, a little bit of the Rothko effect there, and a little bit, it's pretty, almost a little bit of the Albert Pinkham Ryder. His stuff was like heavily degraded, textured, dense, tense, right? So I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna take a little break here. Mark Rushton, MarkRushtonGallery.com is where you can sign up for everything. Think about liking and sharing and subscribing and all that sort of stuff. That'd be nice. Be nice until it's time to not be nice, right? That how it goes? I'll be back in a bit with another one.